moving through challenging times. Where I'm Jendisha and I share some tips about how to get through challenging times more easily, really step into your power. This is one of those times that is very intense because we have been conditioned and experienced life a certain way, and all of that's falling away. So we're moving from this idea of top down, people, institutions telling us what to do, which we have experienced for thousands of years. So we're very well behaved when it comes to, oh, somebody else is in charge, they're going to tell us what to do. And then when we have somebody we don't like in charge, or somebody who's more bully than um, we like, uh, um, we just get very upset and want to run away or rebel. All of those things we did when we were children. When somebody told us, you don't know anything, who cares what you think, sit down and shut up, color in the lines. And that made us feel bad about ourselves, made us feel powerless. And so we either just towed the line and, you know, try to win approval, hid behind people that seemed more bold and often more of a bully. It just created a system where we were and have been unsure how to articulate what it means to be powerful. So much so now that when we say the words powerful, I'm powerful, sometimes people are like, oh, they want to run away from that, or they like the idea of being, powerful in a group, like bullying others and trying to make other people feel bad, or, by ganging up together and deciding on things without knowing what's really happening. They don't take the time to research or find out. They just have opinions and all of that stuff. These are all things, all behaviors we've learned as children. And these are things that our parents did and we did and our grandparents, etc., over and over and over again. And that's because we were taught at a young age to be powerless. And there's something in our system that makes us want to prove that we are loyal to the bully. We are loyal to the one who takes charge. Right? So we overdo our loyalty, and when somebody stands up and says something different, we get behind the one who says, "How dare you?" And we are all involved in stoning somebody or attacking somebody for daring to question the authority or to change the status quo. We are all guilty of this in one level or another, or have been. And now we have an opportunity to change that. When we change this uh, behavior within ourselves, we have to take responsibility for how we feel and what's coming up for us and what we need to do in order to not feel powerless. And how we can do this, not by taking away power from somebody else. We're not doing a power grab. We don't want to bully others or subdue others and go, I'm in charge. I'm gonna make you do this. That's really been uncomfortable for many of us. Like, I don't want to be that bully. I don't want to be the person who's afraid to say what's true, but I don't know how to step into my power. One of the listeners had asked me a question about sharing tips about how to love oneself more. And so I'm going to talk about this as I talk about, because I think they're related. Being powerful, accepting you are powerful. This is something that has been denied us, especially as a woman, but even for men. Men have been told they can be, strong and sort of take whatever they want. Um, so they've been denied the ability to express their feelings and all of those things. And women, it's the opposite. We've been encouraged to express our feelings and told how weak we are and useless and sort of othered and moved out of the picture. So we've all experienced, wherever we are on the spectrum, we've all experienced some form of othering, some form of um, power being taken from us. And so much of this is related to fear of claiming power. So when you say I'm powerful, it's people like what? You're such a show off, or how dare you, or something like that. And personally, I have spent so much of my life trying to not claim that I'm powerful. I was just in Ireland for a retreat, and first time in Ireland in this lifetime, but I know that I've been there many times before. And I felt very much at home with the land. And one of the very powerful things that one of those little missing pieces of my journey, and I've been working on all of this for so long, one of those missing pieces dropped in the recognition that I am powerful. And I don't need to pretend that I'm not, right? I've been pretending, like kind of holding back. I better not say I'm powerful because um might offend somebody. I might look like I'm showing off. Well, it really doesn't even matter what other people think about me. What matters is what I think about me. And this comes back to loving the self. Loving the self is going, this is how I feel. This is where I need to take responsibility and step up. I need to take responsibility, me, Jen, take responsibility for the fact that I am powerful and I can stand by it instead of stepping back and going, oh, okay, I was just pretending. It's not real. Uh, I'm not claiming that I'm powerful in every single way, but I am powerful as me when I claim it. I'm a powerful being. And if I don't claim my power, somebody else is going to take it from me because I am agreeing with them that they're right. I'm not powerful. So let me put my power behind you. And we have this in history, right? We have the story of like the behind every throne or powerful man, there's a powerful woman. It's this idea that women aren't allowed to be powerful, or they can only be powerful in a little bit or in a this way, because they're supposed to be using their power to support others. And certainly there's nothing wrong with supporting others. But if we're going to support others, we need to make sure that we are supporting what we believe in, and that we are supporting it as ourselves, as fully claimed self, not as somebody who's like, well, I don't know who I am, so you've got a good message. You look like you know what you're talking about. I'm just going to give you my power. This is something we have done for centuries. And like I was saying, I realize that something I have been doing, as much as I've been on this journey of accepting myself, which is part of loving yourself, right? I accept who I am. I accept that I am a being, a human being, and um, I can betray myself by thinking one thing or wanting something, and then something else comes out of my mouth, or my behavior doesn't match what I believe. My behavior doesn't match who I am, right? And those are betrayals, self-betrayals that reveal to me that I am um, denying myself my power. And this again speaks to love. When you love yourself, you recognize the ways that you are playing what we might call playing small or betraying yourself because it feels safer. So for a long time, and I recognized it when I was on this retreat, that I've been doing this thing where when people say, well, you know, you know what you want or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't. Well, what is it? I'm not sure. And I'm saying that not because I don't know. because I do know, but because it feels safer to pretend that I don't know, safer to hide behind the idea that if I don't commit to it, then nobody could say something about me, something negative about me, as if that actually matters, right? And I have to acknowledge that for myself, that I have been giving my power away by thinking somebody else's opinion is more valuable than mine for me, right? I'm not talking about an opinion about something out there, which, by the way, we should all give the opinions we actually have about something and not the acceptable opinion so that we can be part of the collective. Is it safe? I'm going to give something that's safe. I don't want to say anything too bitchy or too wild or too out there or something that will get me ostracized. But all of those games of denying oneself and one's true voice does take away your power, does deny you who you are. In fact, karma is related to places where we have betrayed ourselves. In all the places we betrayed ourselves in this lifetime or in a previous lifetime or some other dimension or whatever, is about not being truthful for ourselves, not advocating for ourselves. Like when somebody says to me, well, here's a reading or here's some information about you and well, what you want to do, or, you know, and I go, I don't know. When I do know, right? That's a betrayal and that creates karma. It creates energy inside me that's linked to not standing up for myself. So I'm saying that what I feel is not valuable enough to honor. And this is where love comes in. You have to advocate for yourself to do the things that are hard, new, fearful, when you know it's true. Like if I feel in my body that somebody's saying something and I'm not saying anything when I know what they're saying is not true, I'm hurting myself. I'm not hurting that other person. They don't care. They don't need my approval. They don't need me to go behind and go, oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, I bow to you. You've got the right opinion. I need to be speaking for myself, for my own feelings. When I feel a pain in my stomach or, my throat feels like blocked and I know I have something to say and I don't say it, that is when I'm showing I don't love myself. I don't accept who I am and I'm not standing with myself. I don't accept all my power. Uh, I don't want to show up in full power of this is who I am. I hope what I'm saying is making sense to you. Of course, if it's not, please let me know because that's your responsibility. I'm just channeling the information. I say just, I am channeling the information because that's who I am. I have access to huge amounts of knowledge and I'm sharing it. And maybe when it comes out, it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense to you, ask because that's on you, right? To know what you need to know. If you don't need to know and it all lands, it's all good. We have to get so much better at taking responsibility for how we feel and what we say. Now, not everything we say has to come out angry, although if it comes out angry, it's fine. Maybe the first time it's going to be angry. Maybe we are going to be fearful when we say things. And the reason why we might feel fearful is because we've never done this before, or we're afraid that we'll get in trouble, like all the stuff from when we were kids or past lives when we've been punished, looking foolish, being picked out. We're saying to ourselves, there's something wrong with me. That's why this person's behaving this way. But what if you said, there's nothing wrong with me, except I'm feeling a pain here, and this pain is telling me I need to say this, that what you're saying to me isn't true, and I have to say it's not true, or this doesn't work for me, and I speak for myself. And the things other people say to us and about us that we just brush aside and say, oh, they don't really know what they're saying. We must be the ones to say, no, no, that's not true. This is what's true for me. We're not claiming the truth for the world. Although I do see people trying to do this. This is what's true. That's not true. No, none of us know what's true for all of us, right? We have an opinion, we have a point of view about what's true for us. And that's what we must honor. I feel like I need to express this about myself. I want you to know this about myself. I have to say this to the world. And we do it because that's claiming who we are. That's speaking up for ourselves. That's doing the opposite of betraying ourselves. It's claiming I am powerful. And because of that, and because I honor who I am, I'm going to say how I feel. Whether what we feel is true for somebody else or not, it still bears expressing. It still bears acknowledgement. The ultimate love is to accept that what you feel is true, right? You feel something. I notice a lot of people when they say, well, I had this experience, it wasn't that bad, or my mother didn't know any better. I've certainly done all those things, but this isn't that we are bashing people, but that we are not making excuses for others. Why do we need to make excuses? Let them speak for themselves. If you have a question, why did you do that? We can go to our mother, our aunt, our friend. Why did you say that? I was very hurt by that. But when we don't speak up for ourselves, then other people will continue to speak for us. And maybe what they're saying about us isn't true. Uh, maybe we don't want them to speak for us because that creates pain. That creates the disconnection from ourselves and our power and our ability to love ourselves. See, love is not an easy thing. People like to say, oh, love, it's all hot, it's soft, it's romantic. But that's not true. There can be parts of love like that. But love is hard. Love demands that we behave responsibly. In other words, we respond to what's inside of us and speak out about the things that cause us pain. See, what often happens in the world is we have this pain inside of us that we carry. It's our story. It's a thing that happened to us. It's painful. And we keep it close to us, this pain, because we feel justified. I have this pain. It's never been fixed because the people who did this have never apologized, or they don't even know it, or the people that keep doing it, they just keep doing it. They don't know who I am. We give them all that power. Now, when we're children, we don't know any better, right? But you, as an adult who's listening to this, you know better. You know that you don't need to stay in that story. You need to speak out to the person who is treating you badly, the person who's taken your power from you, who's speaking for you, and go, no, I need you to hear this. And the truth is that whether they hear you or not, it doesn't matter because the responsibility for you is to speak up, to release yourself from that story that you're carrying, that energy. The way the thing works is we talk about this thing. I'm so upset this happened. This person did this to me. Or we think about it. So, wow, I didn't speak up for myself. This happened. Oh, this person said this and that. I didn't say anything because, I didn't want to make a fuss, or I still want them to be my friend, or they're my family member. What we're saying is, I matter less than they do. And that is not love, right? That is, what do they call it? Codependency. I need them to love me, so I'm going to behave the way I think they need me to behave. Everybody wants us to behave honestly, like be truthful to ourselves. That's what people want, right? Everybody's waiting for us to speak up and say something, have an opinion, and declare ourselves and show our power. But most of us are like looking at everyone else going, well, who's going to speak up? Because, I'm uncomfortable. That person's saying something horrible to someone next to me, but I'm uncomfortable and I don't want to say anything because maybe they'll say something horrible to me. Instead of going, stop that, right? This is unacceptable. You can't speak to people this way. But when we hold that energy, somebody spoke to me badly, I don't get to speak or say, or I have to rebel in order to have what I want. We live that, and that's our truth. And we attract all the things that are related to that. We're going to have those experiences over and over until we go, no, I'm done with this. I'm going to move on. There's a great example in our lives when this happens. It's something so powerful. You probably know somebody who's been in an abusive relationship. I think most of us have experienced that at one level or another, some less important, some more. And the thing about abusive relationships is it's very, what's the word? It's very appealing in some way because it justifies that part of oneself, right? That says, "Oh, I'm not really powerful. I'm not valuable." Yes, this proves, this person saying these things to me. I know it doesn't start like that. It's just they pull you in, and then you get all wrapped up, and then trust them, and then they say horrible things to you. But you don't say anything back because you want this person to get back to that place where they said good things to you, right? So I'm not going to say anything or do anything, or maybe they're violent, which is very scary. And everyone around this person will say, well, why don't you leave this person? They're so terrible for you. They isolate you and they do all this. And the person, no, no, they're great, or they're getting better. This time will be different. They'll go back to this person. And then one day, they just leave that person. And you're like, well, what happened? Like, I kept telling you leave, leave, and you didn't. And now suddenly you just left. Like, how is that possible? And the reason is because the person who this is happening to wakes up one day and goes, I don't want to live this story anymore. I don't want to live this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of somebody uh, treating me like this. And they find that moment of self-love and goes, okay. And often it comes because they're protecting a child or something like this. I can't let my child have this experience, right? Often our children are the gateways to us taking power back, taking responsibility to say, you cannot speak to me like this. I will not be treated like this because I am not that, right? I am not the story. I am not the shape that you're trying to make of me. And so I speak up. When we speak up for ourselves, those people kind of melt away. The more we get connected to who we are, and the less we are entangled in the idea that we need something from that person. Now, that's a very extreme example, but many of us play these roles in less extreme ways on a daily basis. So, self-love is recognizing, paying attention to what you're feeling in your body. What's the response in your body when you hear something, or you're spoken to in a certain way, or perhaps you wanted something and you didn't get it because you didn't speak out about it, or you weren't clear. What's happening inside your body? Look at those signals and recognize that your body is telling you something like, oh, I feel bad because I didn't say I wanted that opportunity. Now it slipped away. It went to somebody else. Now, to be clear, we can ask for things and we may not get them. But, or however, when we ask for something and we're clear about it, I want this, and we understand that we don't get everything we ask for because that's just the way it is, right? But if we don't get it and we asked, we feel good because we were clear. Oh, gee, I'm sad I didn't get it, but I'm so glad I asked, right? And what when we do get it because we asked? It's amazing. I've done that so many times where I've been like, here's this opportunity. It's not clear whether it's for me or not, but I'm going to just ask, is it possible? Can I have this? Tell me more about this. And so many times I get that thing and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't know this was possible. How lucky, how fortunate, how incredibly amazing it is that I got this opportunity. But it came because I was willing to look foolish by saying, well, I really want this. Is this available for me? And remember, I'm saying that from a place, it's not a grasping, give me that, it's mine, I want it. No, it's just, I see this here and I'm wondering if it's available for me because I would really like it. And this isn't just to other people and to opportunities that are being out there, it's to ourselves. When we say to ourselves, I see this, I see that thing there, I want to paint. I see that I'd love to paint or play music or so how can I show myself that I'm willing to do what it takes? I'm willing to, you know, not only invest in the materials I need, but make the time to do it because it's important to me. When I'm saying yes to myself, I am moving into a different frequency. I'm experiencing things differently, as opposed to when I believe that nobody listens to me, I never get what I want, and that's because I'm not asking or I'm not clear or whatever it is. I'm betraying myself by not speaking up for myself and not advocating for myself. And then I'm trapped in this place where I feel victimized. I feel like I'm not getting what I want. No one hears me. I can't have what I want. Why do other people get so lucky and I don't? And that frequency creates not only pain and despair in our bodies because we're not speaking up for ourselves, so we're creating all this pain inside of us, but it also leads to us having the experiences that we keep talking about. We keep saying, I don't get this, this happens, this doesn't happen. And so the universe just delivers that to us over and over until we go, oh, I think I'm done with that. I'm going to move on. One of the things to think about, this is what came through this morning, I thought it was interesting, is are you more in love with your story than you are with you? Because the story gives you something, right? It gives you an excuse or an explanation. It's kind of like an opt-out. It's like that, do not, you know, jail-free card in Monopoly. Oh, I got a jail-free card, so I just wave my card and it's all good. Well, we're not going to have a jail-free card every time, and it's so much easier to accept. You're a powerful being, but you're a human being, and human beings are going to sometimes many times. Make mistakes, not know how to do things, choose the wrong thing, focus or defocus, all of those things. You know, imperfect, what we might call an imperfect body, la la la, blah blah blah, whatever. Doesn't matter, whatever your thing is. Those that we put so much weight on, oh, I wanted to do this, but I'm a lousy this or that. I didn't do it. I don't have the right shape. I'm not good enough at losing weight. Uh, whatever. All those things, what we're really doing is saying to ourselves, you suck, you suck. I can't trust you. I can't support you because you suck. Instead of being, this is it, this is my body, and do I really want this thing? Like for me, sometimes I say to myself, yeah, I really should eat differently, should eat differently so I could, look better in my clothes. And then, but at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that. So I'm not going to have that experience because I've decided I'm not that interested. I'm not that invested. If I don't really want to do it, then why do I need to beat myself up? Because I'm not doing the things I need, but I don't really want to do it. I'm only doing it because I think I'll look better to the outside world. So when I just go, okay, Jen, you don't want to do that, so that's okay. Just let it go. It's not important. This is who you are. Accept this and advocate for the parts of you that are hurt or in some way disempowered when something happens. Because those things repeat themselves over and over. Oh, here it is again. I didn't speak up when I should have. And then when you do speak up, when you do ask for what you want, celebrate and really collect those things inside of you. So you recognize all the ways that you are advocating for yourself, all the ways you are speaking for yourself. Because that starts to build up something inside of you. The response inside of you that I am taking care of myself. I am saying things when I need to. I am doing what I need to do. Look at me. I'm an amazing advocate for myself. I know how to get this through this. Because, when you've never done something, and we're all going through this time where we haven't done all these things and we don't know how it's going to come out. And when we say, oh, I should have known better, I should have done this, blah, blah, blah. What does that do? It says, I don't trust myself instead of going, I've learned so much from this experience. Now, next time, I'm going to pay attention to this area that I kind of let slide till I get better at that, right? Instead of putting a lot of emphasis on being a failure or missing the mark, just embracing, like, wow, I did this. There's so many ways that you are standing up for yourself, that you are stepping into your power, that you are advocating for you. So recognize that, build it up. Let that build the cellular memory in your body of being somebody who does love themselves because they can accept who they are. They can speak up for themselves. They can recognize opportunities that they may have denied themselves. All right, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to share the card that I pulled earlier. This card, the 12, from the Illuminating Journey cards, the deck I created with the guidance of the Akashic records. This soul portal. Of course, these cards, they invite you to see and take the wisdom that you see for yourself. However, I will share that this card is it's a very magical card because it's a card about opportunity. It invites a recognition of the level you have reached. You have come to a certain level, knowledge, wisdom, awareness, and you're stepping through that. You're accepting that and you're stepping through it. And you're looking at the knowledge and information you've been given, and you are sifting through it and going, okay, this is true, this isn't true. It's kind of like everything's been thrown up in the air, and what was accepted as, truth, gospel is no longer true. And that's okay, right? Maybe some of it's still true, maybe some of it is not true. And recognizing that all of that is fine. Like there is no requirement to hold on to truths that have been passed down as if they're not allowed to be examined. Just like you loving yourself may look very different from how it looked before. Here's your opportunity to really have those conversations with yourself. Really check in when you're feeling something. Something happens, something activates an energy inside of you, and what's happening? What are you telling yourself about that? Maybe that's a truth somebody else put on you. Maybe it's a truth you decided 20 years ago and now is no longer relevant. It's worth asking questions, being curious, finding the lightness and the joy and going, well, maybe it is true, maybe it isn't, but let's see, right? What else could it be? How can I support myself so I'm not stuck in the same story? I'm not stuck in this idea that, I'm not good enough, or I never get what I want, or I have to fight so hard to get what I want. Tell yourselves loving stories about you. Make the story about you something that invites the recognition of how powerful you are, how magnificent you are, how you do speak up for yourself, how much you care about yourself, how much you value all of you, how much you appreciate you. Build the love within you. Thank you. Let me know if you have questions, if there's something else you want to know about. And I look forward to seeing you very soon.